Hello and welcome back to Rapid Flow. My name is Eric, I'm the founder, and today I'm going to share with you my long-term review of the Nord Wave2. So let me start off by saying that this is a collaboration with the distributor of Nord in Europe. Sound Service sent me this to review, to share with you on my videos, but they do not have any input on this review, and they didn't ask me to make this long-term review. Actually, I'm doing this because now I feel like I'm at a point where I know this device well enough that it would be valuable for you to get my takeaways from using it now for over 6 months in my studio. And just start maybe by, before I talk too much about it, showing you something of a sound so you get a feeling for why this is so valuable in my studio and why it's actually right now center stage here. And that is because it does sounds that you don't really get from anything else, in my opinion, in a way where you can mold them into electronic music that's extremely easy. And okay, so let me show you just one of the sounds in here that I think is so cool. It's a C41, it's called New World. I've taken out the vocal that it has in it. I'm just using this string sound, this lute harp. Maybe let's try that with an arpeggiator. Let's put a filter on it. Maybe add a bit of reverb. Maybe reduce that a bit and add a little bit of delay also. And let's tempo synchronize the delay. And yeah, like that sounds that I don't come across in my studio very easily. Like, you know, I know there's certain like, you know, VSTs probably that would give you that, but being able to access such high quality, like really analog, vibey lead sounds, and then being able to match them into your track so smoothly, so quickly, with such a beautiful interface that's so easy to navigate once you get it, is, I think, very, very unique. And really that is, to me, also the power of the synth, is that once you get the way Nord thinks about their user interface, it actually becomes such a breeze to navigate. So ease of use and directness of how quickly you can go from the sound in your head to actually materializing it through your speakers is incredibly fast and just helps me to be creative with this. I love the fact that its scope is from anything from, more typical synthy stuff to very well sampled, really beautiful acoustic instruments. You can put your own samples in here, which I've also done extensively. Let me load one up just to give you an idea. I sampled some of my old analog synths, and there is a video on the channel where I actually show the process of that. So if you want to see that, I'll link it in the description. So have a look. This is, for example, the Prophet 600 that's behind me here that I sampled into this device. That's another one of the things about it that I really like, just from a point of view of the timelessness of this instrument. It'll never get boring unless you don't know of anything more to sample. You can put anything in here, right? Like and the process of getting sounds into here is so incredibly intuitive. If you're interested in this, then definitely check out the video where I show that in more detail. So, yes. User interface, an absolute joy. Build quality is amazing. One small negative I would say is I don't feel the keybed is as high-end as, for example, something like the Waldorf Iridium, although that stands very much on its own for the quality of that keybed. It's by no means cheap or feels bad, but it's not quite at that like super level. Nonetheless, this is the instrument that's front and center for me right now because I do like having the extra octave, and because it's so direct in getting your ideas into the computer, and because it's so broad in its scope, but more than anything, really, because it's so fast to work with, and because everything is on a dedicated encoder, and you have access to modulation type effects, chorus, ensemble, vibe that I like a lot. You have a very fast and relatively powerful EQ in there. You have a very nice delay. There's great reverbs in there, and actually the arpeggiator is incredibly powerful. It can do like patterns and chords and normal arpeggiators and up and down, and you can select how many notes in and out you want to take. I'll show that more in an in-depth video where I actually demo the synth more for you, which I'll also link in the description. So let me summarize here a little bit what it is about this synth and who I would recommend it to if you're in the market to buy a synthesizer. So as a first synthesizer, I think this is a really great investment if you're looking to buy sort of the one synth that you can do everything with in your studio, because it's a great master keyboard. It has a lot of sound possibilities inside and a lot of really cool acoustic instruments that you wouldn't get so easily, but it also does a lot of the synthesizer stuff that you may need. It has really incredible, super nice, like fat Moog basses and all kinds of stuff in there. The build quality is incredible. It's very solid. Everything about it so far feels really well designed. The ergonomics and the user interface is a joy to work with. It's extremely creative, like the arpeggiator and the way the effects and the delays and everything works. The way you can create splits, which I'll show also in the more in-depth video, is just like, a super, super nice way to work. And if you're in the market for a first synthesizer, I really think this is one of the best choices you can do, because it can do any kind of sound if you consider its sampling capabilities. If you want to play live on stage or tweak filters live on stage while something is receiving MIDI, you can take this on stage with you and get exactly the same quality that you had in the studio, even if you're sampling some of your old analog treasures that you have. And it responds to program changes, it responds to MIDI CC and all these things. It's super solid, it sounds amazing. And it's compact and light enough that actually traveling with it would be totally doable. So you can tell it's like built for the stage. Just like a small detail, for example, like how the frequency cutoff for the filter is right above kind of where you would be playing. Like it's right here. Like you can just tell, it's just like smart, they didn't put it up here somewhere on a big knob where you like have to reach for. No, it's right very close to where your fingers are. So you can just start to open the filter a bit while maybe you're switching through arpeggio layers. So in my opinion, in my experience, this is an amazing synth to get going with, because it can do anything you can throw at it. You can sample, and it's great for performance. It's very fast to capture your ideas. And considering how good the sounds is that are in there, it's not that super well known, I would say, especially in house and techno. I mean, it's obviously, Nord is a very famous brand, and I'm sure people do know of this synth. I know some people that watch my channel have it, but it's not like, I don't know, a Virus TI was in the psytrance scene back in the day. It's like ubiquitous synth that you will find in any studio. So the sounds you get from this are also very original. It's not stuff that you will have heard in a million tracks, which is worth a lot. Knowing what I know now, I would actually have also gone out and bought the synth with my own money, because it's that good. I like the quality of the sounds that Nord has created for this that are more down to earth, like pianos and strings and orchestral sounds and stuff in here feel to me more usable in the context of the music that I make. As a starting synth that will give you the capability for the next 20, 30 years and beyond to create any kind of sound that you imagine, you can't really go wrong with this. Okay, it doesn't have granular type synthesis maybe, or some other additive, super esoteric stuff, but you can sample anything into here. So you can even, generate something on your DAW and then bring it in here and tweak it further or play it like a real instrument. So hats off to Nord for creating this incredibly beautiful, well streamlined machine that sounds just beautiful, has incredible good sound design, is a joy to use and navigate. It never has me going, how do I do that again? Like, what was the place? Where in the menu do I have to look? No, it's all right there with few exceptions. And that is a huge relief for someone like me that seems to always have a dozen things going on in my mind and a lot of different projects. And when I sit in the studio, I don't want to have to consult a manual or dive really deep into my mental hard disk to recover some piece of functionality. I very rarely have to check anything with this because everything is just immediately accessible. And if you're into those kinds of synths where it's more about the results than like being fastidious about every nitpicky little detail and having like, you know, an 8-stage ADSR, if that's your thing, then there are other synths that are more leaning towards that direction. But if you're about getting your musical ideas in the door, playing them live in a way that feels super intuitive, organic, easy to do at a very high sound quality and in a synth that's, yeah, still, you know, built in Sweden with a very, very good build quality that I think will definitely stand the test of time and live use, this is an amazing synth for you to check out. So I hope that this has been interesting for what it is that you do. Huge shout out again to Sound Service and Nord for this collaboration. I'm gonna play a little bit more on the synth to give you a final impression of what it sounds like, and check out the further videos on my channel related to the Nord. There's also some in German, so if that's your preferred interface language, have a look at those, and I'll be seeing you on the next video. Take it easy. Bye bye.